Good day to you and welcome again. My name is Mike and my channel is called Street Smarts, a Logistical Approach. This is lots of years of experience on the line here, lots of mistakes, okay? The elephant in the room right here, lots of mistakes. And I come at you with all of that, hindsight. So it can be your foresight. You understand? I don't call them episodes. I call them appointments. I don't subscribe to being a life coach, okay? Because I'm not trying to push you, so to speak. But all I'm trying to do is get you to subscribe to the idea of opening yourself up to the confidence and the abilities that you have deep down to push you into success and happiness for you and your family, okay? It's irrelevant, but I've got lots of psychology behind me. I've taught lots of cognitive development classes to, youngsters and adults. I work at a penitentiary. I see the worst case scenario in decision making. So let's begin. Thank you for coming. Hopefully you participated in all of these appointments, but whether you subscribe or not, anyone is welcome. So today I'm going to talk about a phrase that you hear from time to time, and I'll spit it right out. Show me who your friends are, and I will tell you what you are up to. One of the growing pains for youngsters that put them in the ditch, make them, not make them, but they create their own bad opportunities and bad decisions, is who they hang out with. Point blank. If you could only go back and stop yourself, right? Well, stop yourself now. If I'm talking to you and you have bad elements, bad actors, then you've got to be honest with yourself, okay? You don't have to stand up and proclaim it in front of a group of people like they even care, but at least be honest with yourself and then come with a plan to get yourself some distance from bad actors, because all they are is anchors wrapped around your neck, okay? So here's the situation. My philosophy in Street Smarts, a logistical approach, is two parts, okay? The one half of it is being proactive and positive regardless of circumstances, to take your losses, to keep a stiff upper lip, to bite the bullet, so to speak, and just keep pressing, and good things will happen, I promise. But I'm going to give you tough love. I'm going to give you, an old school way of mentoring you. So the next part of it, the other half, is to protect yourself. You have a right to protect yourself, okay? So this is more along the lines of, show me who your friends are and I'll tell you what you're up to, so that you can reflect and say, are the people around me, are they bad inhibitors? Are the people around me, are they, they don't necessarily have to help, but if they're harming you, they have to go. You have to push them off to the side, or you have to keep them at bay, okay? Sometimes there's no way around it. Sometimes you have to develop a plan to get space. A bad relationship, the father of your kids, he's abusive. That situation doesn't take place overnight. But when you're young, weaknesses are being impressionable, being open to influence, to be subject to being gullible. Okay, those are, if you've got that, that's weakness, man. That's weakness. Be honest with yourself, and you got to press out of that. Don't be naive, okay? People will bring you down. So anyways, I see it all the time. I'm going to share a quick story, and this gives it's one of those stories where it starts and then I kind of go to the end and then I go back to the middle. So follow me. You can't make it up. So, like I said, I work at a penitentiary, and this is like a mirror reflection of, almost worst case scenario. So I remember years ago when I was doing student teaching to get my master's in education. My curriculum was secondary education, which is 7 through 12, and the curriculum specifically was business. And the teacher that they put me with, it couldn't have worked out better. A whole semester, not being able to work, having to be, at a place where I'm actually paying them, of course. It put me in the hole, but it was for the betterment, right? Everybody, and I mean, it's the state of Michigan to have a license. You have to teach one semester, or student teach rather, and you don't get paid for it. So you got to bite that bullet, should have done it a long time ago, right? But anyways, this teacher was a football coach at a very prestigious high school football program. And I remember it was so much fun because at lunchtime we would go through video of the upcoming opponent. It was during the fall, the football season. And I remember one team in particular that they were preparing for where the team was bad. They sucked, okay? But they had one player that was, what you call a one-man gang. This guy, he was a quarterback, of course. He'd drop back. And if no one was open, he'd run for the first down, or he'd run for the touchdown. And if they were pressing him because they thought he'd run, he'd drop back and throw, direct arrows, at receivers and getting touchdowns all day. And the team, like I said, I think they were like a 4-5 team or something, less than 500. But the guy himself, if they lost 50-30, he would put up almost the 30 points by himself. That's how phenomenal he was of an athlete. Well, now fast forward, years later, I'm in prison. I'm in what's called a housing unit, and a lot of times I'll take on conversation and hear people's story because they've got the time to tell it. And I remember this. A lot of times you can just tell they're lying. And you just let them keep telling you, and until they wear themselves out. Maybe that help them, But there's a lot of lying that goes on in prison. So, anyways, this one young guy comes up and he's telling me how great of a football player he was, and I'm okay, and I'm listening, and I know how to ask questions in such a way that I can kind of tell if they're telling the truth. And he's going on, and he said, yeah, I wound up here on a case. I could have played for some Big Ten schools, some MAC colleges. Pac-12 was trying to give me a scholarship. I'm like, okay, yeah. He goes, yeah, let me show you a clipping of one of my newspaper articles. He goes back to his cell. He comes back, and it's all folded up. He unfolds it, and he shows it to me, and I'm like, oh my God, this is you. Are you serious? What happened? So now my heart goes out because, he's got the proof. He was all world. He was in his county, the MVP out of all the great football players that they selected of all the schools. He was the real deal. So then he starts to tell me about his situation of how he came to prison. And this goes to my point of show me who your friends are. A young guy. His mom tried her best to keep him on the straight and narrow. He grew up around some pretty, dangerous stomping grounds. The streets in the specific area of Michigan is rough. No dad, and with his talent, he continued on and on, through the ranks up into high school, to the point where his coaches would have to come in and kind of cover for him, and give him a second chance and another second chance. In and out of trouble, and but he was winning football games. So the crime that he got put in prison for, and this is how it unfolded, because I believe no dad, no mentorship, the streets raised him, okay? Yet he had this opportunity to get out through football. And the police arrested him with 3 other guys and the 3 guys were older than him. So he's filling in a blank in his life by hanging out with older men, older guys. They were early 20s and he was still a teenager. And the prosecutor came to him and said, listen, we can still chalk this off as a minor, being your last chance. I understand you have a great football career ahead of you. So we're going to let you have your dream, if that is your dream. However, what we need you to do is to roll on these 3 guys. We need to put them away for a long time. They've been on our radar. And we'll just take you, and we'll just slap you on the wrists, because we can chalk it off as you are still a minor. And the youngster obviously said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to rat the sacred sacrament of not ratting, honor among thieves, right? And so the prosecutor just made quick work of him. He said, so let me get this right. You will not help us by testifying against these 3 guys who don't give a damn about you, that helped you in your decision making, but you're not going to take this golden opportunity, right? He goes, no, I won't rat on my friends. They said, okay, well, you're all going to do time. They're not going to do as much as we wanted them to, but you, sir, will go to prison and do time along with them, the same amount. And he did. So he came to prison. Now, I got to thinking. I said, can I see that article again? And I looked at it and I said, I'll be damned. This is the same guy, the same youngster that this coach from several years earlier that I was a student teacher with was talking about. I couldn't believe it. And he's in front of me. So it's just amazing how things come to be and circumstances play out, and it just to this day, I tell that story. And I mean, in prison when I'm teaching cognitive development classes, then I always make sure to tell that, and it gets their attention. Hopefully it sinks in, But show me who your friends are, and I will tell you what you're up to. If I'm talking to you and you're surrounded by bad actors that are bringing you down, change it, okay? Find the guts. If you can't look these people in the eye and say, get out of my life, then find a way. Get a hobby, get a job, get something that creates some distance, okay? You can always get away. Now, on the other hand, if you're that parent, if you're a mentor, if it's a relative, it's a spouse, and you see them, getting involved in bad activities where they were once this decent person and now they're starting to go awry, take an inventory of who their circle is and check with it, okay? Get yourself in the middle of it. Be covert, okay? The bad actors, if they know you're coming, they know how to bring people down, and they don't have, that type of inhibition. They will find a reason to bring people down, and it's going to serve them in a bad way. That's what we try to avoid on this channel, okay? So if you are that person that I'm speaking to that's around bad actors, just put yourself on notice and keep it from becoming worse. Find a way to separate from people that are bad around you as well. If you see that, don't stand by and be complicit, okay? Well, they're going to make their own decision. No, that's wrong, because you would want somebody to help you, right? If you were drowning, you'd want somebody to save you, right? So you have a duty if you see it and recognize it, okay? Don't broadcast it, but find, inventive ways to reach out to the person and say, hey, how's everything going in your life? What have you been doing? Does this make you happy? Does this make you happy? I'm just going to ask you, are you open to changing your lifestyle, even a little bit, because, in a couple years you could be in a bad situation, okay? Sometimes no turning back, right? So show me who your friends are, and I will tell you what you're up to. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is the end of this appointment number 7. I appreciate always that your attendance, and I hope that this is subject matter to help you or your friends, relatives, your loved ones for your success and your family's success. Please like, please subscribe, you can comment, and guess what? 1 week from today, appointment number 8, and I expect you to be there. Thank you so much.